Welcome back to 101 Sports. I'm now joined by a couple of senior baseball experts who are up for their last licks, Tom Waterman and Andy Harris. Now guys, 6 players in the last 5 months have been charged with DUIs, and this is becoming a major issue for Major League Baseball. Should the MLB do something about this in the new CBA agreement talks? Tom, start with you.
Absolutely. I mean, you mentioned it. 6 guys in the last 5 months. These guys are breaking the law. Why can't Major League Baseball at least suspend them, reprimand them in some way?
Well, you just said it. They're breaking the law. That's up to law enforcement and the courts to take care of, not Major League Baseball. Look, I'm not trying to defend them. Drinking and driving is a terrible thing. It's reckless. They could kill themselves and other people. That said, you cannot. I'm sorry. I just don't see how baseball can be the ones to punish them.
How about devil's advocate here? Robert Goodell feels it necessary to suspend Plaxico Burress and Michael Vick in addition to their jail sentences. Why can't Bud Selig take the right to punish these guys for a couple of games for obviously breaking the law and putting people's lives at risk?
Well, I don't agree with Goodell doing that for Vick and Plaxico either. I really don't. I mean, honestly, it's not up to the leagues to enforce the law.
I don't see how you cannot enforce this, though. This is an issue off the field. You have a contract with your team, and when you violate not just your team's rules, but the law and put people's lives at risk, you have to be reprimanded.
Again, you said it yourself, off the field. Leave the judicial, all that off the field. Let the courts take care of it. It's not Selig's job.
Okay, well, you know what? I think there has to at least be some kind of suspension, possibly even just a fine thrown these guys' ways for the way that they act. It's a terrible situation. Okay, moving on. Now, the New York Mets have gotten off to a little bit of a rocky start this season, but their star shortstop, Jose Reyes, is on a tear right now. Andy, should the Mets, if this doesn't keep getting better for them, trade Jose Reyes and have just a big fire sale?
Absolutely. You want to know why? He's off to one of the best starts of his career. His value is never going to be higher.
Absolutely, yeah.
They can get more than he's worth, and he's a very good player, so they could already get a lot. Additionally, they are not near contention. I'm sorry, Tom. I know you're a Mets fan. I don't want to throw your franchise under the bus. With the Phillies and the Braves and even the Marlins looking really strong in the NL East, the Mets might still be 3-4 years around contention. By that point, Jose Reyes.
Okay, if they are 3 or 4 years away from contention, wouldn't you be better off having one of the best shortstops in baseball on your team? Yes, he could bring a tremendous bounty if you traded him, but the guy's hitting .339. He's the most exciting player in baseball.
Well, everyone doesn't make him better. It just means he's fun to watch.
Where in New York, where ticket sales are down, identifies with one player. You can't raise the white flag in New York because if you do so, ticket sales are going to plummet.
Okay, all right.
Sponsorship's going to plummet. It's about making money.
For one thing, don't even say the fan base identifies.
How not?
No, every Mets fan I talk
to
hates Jose Reyes. Oh, he's a hot dog. All that stuff. Okay. Come on, they do not like him. Additionally, the Mets aren't, like I said, aren't going to contend. If you trade Reyes, you can get prospects. Otherwise, you lose them at the end of the season. I'm sorry. The Mets are in so much debt, they're not going to be able to re-sign him.
Well,
He's going to get $100 million in free
I disagree.
agency.
I think Reyes is going to stay because obviously he would be the second highest guy probably in the free agent market this year, but I think he's going to stay in New York. Value cannot be replaced. Guy that's going to move is Carlos Beltran. Obviously,
he's going to get traded too.
Not arbitration eligible at the end of the year, no free agent compensation. He's going to be moved to a contender, maybe for a pitching prospect or two. Wouldn't be surprised to see a guy like K-Rod maybe move, but Reyes, not a chance. There's not a way you can replace the most exciting player.
If the Mets are 10 games back in July, they're going to get rid of him.
They're 10 games back now. They're not
so exactly,
going to trade him. They're going to hold on to him, keep the assets as much as possible.
It's very tough because you mentioned Tom in New York. You can't really rebuild, but there comes to a certain point. This team hasn't really contended for a World Series in 5 years, where if the trade deadline approaches, you may have to part with the guy. All right, well, it's time to step away once again. But on the other side of this commercial break, Christine will be joined by our NFL experts to discuss if any team actually benefits from possible lockout. Stay tuned to find out.